It's hard for me to understand where you're coming from. I don't think the way you do.
I know. You need to be a bit more trusting, Nolan. It'll serve you well. We follow the law. We play every card we have, just like the defense does. And we let the 12 people who don't have a horse in the race make the decision. You don't get paid to do the comfortable thing or the noble thing. You get paid to win.
This whole video thing, it was a pretty routine matter. I mean, we're talking about surveillance video. It's the foundation of modern police work, and as a result, it's the foundation of most criminal trials. So for Sullivan to flat out suppress it, based on the simplistic argument that Attorney Banks put forth, it's hard to fathom.
Huh. Judges have a lot of discretion. And like you said, the surveillance system's outdated, so let it go and move on to jury selection. Build a case with what you have, not with what you wish you had.
These are two of the most aggressive pro-defense rulings I've ever seen. Video compression? Nonsense. And this Batson ruling, it's absurd. Batson was designed to protect black defendants who used to get railroaded by all white juries, not powerful white men. It makes no sense. Unless, of course, that is the whole point.
Meaning what?
Meaning, unless Sullivan knows what he's doing, makes no sense.
Wait, are you suggesting...
I can't prove that he is in Garvey's pocket, but it definitely feels that way.
Are you seriously accusing Sullivan of being corrupt? He's been on the bench for 20 years. He was a prosecutor for 15. He started out right here in this office. He held your job for like 5.
Exactly. That is why this is so concerning, because he knows better. I think he should recuse himself.
On what grounds? Does he know the defendant, his family members?
Not to my knowledge.
Does he have any special relationship with Attorney Banks, with the Navy?
Not to my knowledge.
So what, you're gonna ask him to step aside because you think he's a prick? For starters, he's gonna tell you to go to hell. And then he's really gonna jam you. Going to war with a judge is bad business, Nolan.
So you want me to pretend this isn't happening?
I want you to pretend that he doesn't matter as much as you think he does. The jury makes the decision, not him. Something bothering you?
The idea that Braddock stole the necklace is never made any sense. But now we know he was staring down a mountain of medical debt as a result of his service.
Doesn't mean he committed grand larceny.
No. But earlier today, Peralta's wife asked me why I didn't believe his story, and if I'm being honest, it's because I knew about his prior convictions.
He also lied to the police.
Yeah, it's a thing a person might do, knowing how we tend to treat ex-felons.
That's true. We both know the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior.
And other than the 2 felonies years ago, he's been a solid citizen. He was a model inmate, parolee, he mentored at-risk kids. He was making the most of his second chance. That's past behavior. That's recent past behavior, which is more predictive than distant past behavior. And I didn't take any of that into consideration.
You think Peralta's telling the truth?
Not sure. How can we know for sure?
We can't. We weren't there. All we can do is present the evidence and let the jury decide.
Right. We present the prior convictions, we paint him out to be an inveterate criminal, and let the jury nail his ass to the cross.
Look, this job would be easy if we knew what really happened, but we don't. We usually never do. So we follow the law. We play every card we have, just like the defense does. And we let the 12 people who don't have a horse in the race make the decision.
Yeah, I get it, trust me. But if every sentence is a life sentence, what's the point of rehabilitation?
Okay. If you feel this strongly, dismiss the case.
I can't do that. Like I said, I don't know.
Then you have to do what you have to do.
Cash is just as selfish and horrible as we'd imagined. No public service, he doesn't help out his mother.
You give to charity?
Next to nothing, on a gross income of 12 million.
That was a total waste of time.
Well, not exactly. Cash told me what really happened the day he was arrested for assault.
What really happened?
Angela was supposed to be babysitting his infant daughter, but went on a coke bender instead. Cash got home, found the baby alone, crying, covered in feces.
Why didn't he tell you this before?
Because he didn't want to tarnish her legacy. He felt he owed it to her given how badly he treated her.
How do you know he's not just making this up?
He has lots of evidence, surveillance video inside and outside the house. This is why Angela asked the DA's office to drop the charges.
At a minimum, it'll provide some context for his violent outburst.
Yeah, if we introduce it.
If?
I don't know, Nick. The idea of blaming Angela for her own assault feels disgusting. Not to mention her legacy. Like, her husband doesn't need to know all of this, not at this point. It doesn't feel right.
Of course it doesn't, but that's not the point. As distasteful as this might sound, there is a distinction, if not a difference, between a man flipping out after someone endangers his baby and a man flipping out over something insignificant. It's like the difference between murder and manslaughter. They're both horrible crimes, but one is clearly worse than the other.
I get it, intellectually, but well, the idea of trying to parse domestic violence makes me uncomfortable.
You know what makes me uncomfortable, Sam? The defendant walking free and killing another woman, or staring down her husband, Lucas Peters, and telling him we should have done better. Alan Ross needs to spend the rest of his life in prison. And if the cost of doing that makes us uncomfortable, so be it. I heard about the mistrial.
The judge pushed them to reach a verdict.
You pulled up short on this one, Nolan. Letting the jury know what really happened that day might have made a difference. You don't get paid to do the comfortable thing or the noble thing. You get paid to win. I just got a call from Judge Atkins. Said you threatened to subpoena him?
No, it's nonsense. I simply asked him a few questions about the poker game, and he told me to go to hell, as did all the other men who were there that night.
So you threatened to subpoena them?
I did not use those exact words, but I'm just trying to do my job, Nick. I'm just trying to find evidence that can help us get a conviction.
But these men already told the police they don't know anything.
That doesn't mean they're telling the truth.
But it does mean they're not interested in cooperating, regardless of what they know. And if you force them, they'll just take the fifth. So what's the point? Why burn bridges for no reason?
Right. I guess I'm looking at things a little differently.
Meaning what?
Meaning, I'm not running for re-election.
This isn't political. It's practical. There's a difference.
Fine, I will move on. But I'm afraid at the moment, anyway, this case isn't winnable. We need something else or someone else to make sense of all this circumstantial evidence.
Like Matt Riley?
No, not a reliable witness.
I know he's not perfect, and the defense will have a field day with him on cross, but it's worth a shot.
I'm not sure that's a good idea.
You have a better one?
Well,
So let's roll the dice on Matt. You know, you need to be a bit more trusting, Nolan. It'll serve you well. Trying to take out a witness? No. That's a line in the sand. We need to find the perp and then bury Shane Willis.
agreed. But for now, we're in a bit of a bind. Matt Riley was our key witness, and as you recall, you didn't want me to pursue the other potential witnesses.
I didn't want you to harass the other potential witnesses. If there's evidence that suggests any one of these men actually has information that can help convict Shane Willis, go for it, subpoena them. But if you're just trying to scare one of them into doing something he's never going to do, then move on. Is that not satisfactory?
Excuse me?
You seem unimpressed with my answer.
No, that's not it.
Then what is it? Please, speak freely.
Sometimes, I don't know, it's hard for me to understand where you're coming from. I don't think the way you do.
I know.
Julia set out to kill Carter Mills that evening, and she succeeded.
The defense will obviously portray Carter as a violent predator, someone who'd been charged with rape and murder, someone capable of killing an ex-girlfriend in the blink of an eye. If they're successful, they'll win, regardless of the facts.
Problem is, it's not easy to hide the truth about who Carter was. Right? Him being on trial for murder, that's public information.
Doesn't mean it's admissible. File a motion trying to limit the scope and details surrounding the prior murder trial.
Cassie's attorney is now alleging self-defense.
Makes sense. Once the judge kicked out the confession, this case becomes she said, he said.
And he is dead.
So they invented this self-defense claim.
Now we know why they rejected the plea.
Good news is the evidence is in our favor. Cassie clearly planned this attack. She stabbed the victim in the back, hid the murder weapon.
Make that the focus of your case. The evidence, the facts. Despite her age and the unfortunate circumstances leading up to this crime, those jurors need to realize this was a cold-blooded murder. So the self-defense claim is working?
They're attacking the victim, turning him into something he wasn't.
A bully.
And Cassie is a compelling witness. A very good liar, of course.
Are you saying the jury's on her side?
It looks that way. I mean, we're asking the jury to go to bat for a boy who violated one of his oldest friends to curry favor with a bunch of girl-hating idiots.
There's an I told you so in there somewhere.
I'm just trying to get the result you want.
She murdered this kid Feldman, stabbed him repeatedly. Yes, he did something stupid, something cowardly, but he was just a kid too.
Yeah, it's a complicated case.
We offered man one, they said no.
I get it, I do. I'm just trying to do my job, and right now we need evidence to rebut the self-defense claim, or she's gonna walk.
So get to work.
Evidence against Sean is still strong.
Sounds like the evidence against Leo Brady is too. At a minimum, it portrays him as a jealous, jilted boyfriend. He made a lot of threats prior to the murder. And he admits to stalking and arguing with her hours before the murder.
Yeah, it's definitely not ideal, but we still have a strong case.
Assuming the jury doesn't buy the alternative narrative.
I think we just have to trust in the facts.
No, we need to control how the jury perceives the facts.
How do you mean?
We need to find a definitive way to counter their theory of the crime. Counter this reasonable doubt they're creating.
I can have the victim's daughter testify that Leo was home all night, but she's just a kid, and she fell asleep around 8.
No, we need actual proof. Talk to Leo again, review his timeline. Who knows, maybe he ordered a late-night pizza or was playing video games with a friend.
I already talked to him about that, but I'm happy to try again.
No, let's let someone else take a run at him. Hardiman was going to expose Munson's condition, have him fired. That still only gets you halfway to motive. Why would Goodall kill to keep Munson as CEO? You said he was rich, had job options.
I know, I've been digging into Goodall's life. He was the furthest thing from desperate. He donated lots of money, to tens of thousands, to various schools, hospitals.
Whatever motivated him, his wife seemed to know. She vouched for his alibi, right?
Lied to police about what time he got home.
Yeah, there's no way she's gonna talk to us.
When Goodall's wife lied, she waived privilege. Give it a shot, track her down.
I've watched hours of Kate Levy's conversations with her husband. I mean, if I'm being honest, I can't stop watching them.
Yeah, it's unsettling.
It's creepy is what it is. She was consumed by her husband's death, craved retribution. The more technology tries to help, the worse things seem to get.
Everything has a shortcut these days. Overweight, try Ozempic. Only swipe right.
Can't handle the death of a loved one, create a grief bot. Grief is supposed to be hard. Pretty sure that's the point.
If you can believe it, I've got a voicemail from my father that he left a couple of days before he died, which, for all I know, he was trying to get me to smuggle scotch into the hospital, but, yeah, can't even listen.
Grief is obviously a universal experience, which means everyone on that jury's experienced it in some capacity, so lean into the anger and confusion of that journey. That's what drove Kate Levy to kill.
We have no choice. We have to disclose Detective Walker's actions to the defense.
Do we? Let's just take a look at the fuse on this bomb before we light it, okay? Kate Levy attempted to speak with her dead husband every day since her arrest. Couldn't you argue that Detective Walker just gave her what she wanted?
or handed her the shovel to dig her own grave. Walker facilitated this without her attorney's knowledge. It's essentially ex parte communication.
Right.
And he tampered with the machine's algorithm. He fed the thing new information with the express intent or hope of soliciting a new confession.
Which you have to applaud on some level.
I'm not so sure about that.
Detective Walker had no way of knowing that Kate Levy was going to initiate communication with this grief bot. He merely made the thing available to her.
Nick, come on. I don't like this any more than you do, but
The high road is a lonely place.
we're doing what?
In exchange for reducing charges and advocating for a lenient sentence, Luis Salazar will reveal the location of the crown.
No, I understood the offer. I don't understand why we're even considering it. This is nothing but an act of desperation at the 11th hour. We have Luis Salazar dead to rights. I'm confident the jury will return a guilty verdict tomorrow morning.
I'm not sure that's the math on this one.
No, it's the only math that matters. We are holding a man to account for murder. This thing? It's just a thing. It's immaterial, Nick.
This isn't a debate, Nolan. Prosecutorial discretion exists precisely for cases like this. We're not here to solely satisfy a lust for maximum punishment. We're here to protect the public interest, which in this case is more complicated than a prison term.
It doesn't matter that I don't believe what you're saying, Nick. I don't think you do either.
All right. I keep forgetting how you really feel about me.
Come on, Nick. Let's at least be honest about why this is really happening. There are 2.5 million Catholics in New York. They vote. That is why this is happening.
You're wrong. If we drop this to murder 2 and recommend the low end of the sentencing range and bring the crown home in one piece, that is a win for the many, many people who believe in this thing. That means it's a win for the city of New York, and that means it's a win for us.
For God's sake, there's an argument to be made. The crown doesn't even belong to the church.
That is not our concern.
Right. Not a lot of indigenous Colombians around here.
I'm done. Make the deal.